Winter and spring keep going back and forth lately. As you just saw in Rick's forecast, we have more of it on the way. But don't worry, because warmer spring days will eventually be here to stay. It just might be a little bit. In the meantime, you're probably anxious to get some pretty flowers and bright spring colors on your front porch or in your backyard. I know I was, so that's what I spent my whole past weekend doing. Today on You Can Grow It, our very own garden master Jim Duthie talks to a local flower expert at a garden center to get some ideas on what you can do to get some fast spring color. And by the way, these flowers will do just fine with any cold weather that sticks around.
Well, finally, a little warm weather has occurred here in the southwest part of Idaho, but there's still a lot of spring cool weather to go through. You might be anxious to get a burst of color in your yard. We already have some narcissus and daffodils and tulips starting to pop up, but other plants are perfect for this time of year while it's still facing a little cold weather. Allison Burley from North End Organic Nursery is joining me right now. We're going to talk about some things you can plant to get some fast color in your yard. Well, Allison, what are some of the best flowers right now to plant outside?
My favorite right now are these cute little English daisies. Are those not just the cutest things you've ever seen?
They are really nice. They look like little bachelor buttons.
Don't they? And then we've got our famous pansies and violas.
And these are good because they withstand the cold or what?
Exactly. I've seen them when it's 105 and I've seen them with snow on them. They're just the most amazing flower.
I know that you've got some primroses here, and the thing I love about these primroses, they're different from the ones I'm used to. These are extra bushy.
I know, they're the double flower. They're very tough, beautiful, and come in a wide array of colors.
Now, will primroses last throughout the summer?
They kind of peter out once it gets hot.
Well, for the next couple of months anyway, these are a great way to throw some color in a pot or something like that.
You bet.
This says strawberries. What kind of strawberries would these be?
Well, these aren't the kind that you really want to eat. They're super tiny, but they make a beautiful ground color, and that flower is just gorgeous. Beautiful, deep, hot pink.
Are these good in containers?
Yes. They make a great spiller.
So are all of these good in containers? Because right now you may not want to get out and work in the ground so much, but you want to put a pot of pretty flowers out on your front porch.
You bet. Right next to that front door, little pops of colors. You could plant any of these right now.
What other flowers do you have in mind that we might be able to plant this time of year?
Oh, well, over there we have some basket of gold. The forsythias are getting ready to bloom. Those might be a little too big for a container, but these basket of golds are gorgeous and they go for a long time.
A forsythia, usually that has a connotation that when you see the forsythia bloom, it's time to prune your roses, right?
Yes.
They seem to be blooming a little later this year than usually because of our cold weather. Have you seen that with most of the other flowers as well?
Everything is behind. My tulips would have been about this tall by now, and they're just now peeking up.
Just peeking out of the ground, yeah. So what would you say if somebody wants to get the splash of color right away? What's the very best thing you'd suggest for them to get?
I would do a mix of daffodils with the pansies and some of these cute little English daisies. The more color, the better after this dreary winter.
Well, Allison, when you're planting these in some pots and containers, is there a particular type of soil you should be using?
Something very well draining. Try not to pick anything that's very barky, that won't drain well, because annual flowers don't love that. They want nice, well draining soil, a good clump of fertilizer, and
how much water should you give them?
Well, this time of year, not much. You just have to check them every couple of weeks. But when it gets hot, of course, you have to start checking them every day.
With these particular flowers that are early in the spring, you don't have to bring them inside or anything.
Nope, you don't. These have been totally fine out in the cold.
Well, thank you, Allison, for that information, because a lot of us want to get some color really fast right now. We've been anxious for months with all this cold weather. So remember, large variety of flowers that you can plant now in containers and have a little splash of color on your front porch. For Idaho's News Channel 7, I'm Jim Duthie with You Can Grow It.
I'm so glad he just did a story on that, because seriously, I ran to Zamzows last weekend and that's exactly what I did. Once again, some of the best choices for those bright colors that will do well in this cold weather, especially in containers and pots, include pansies, violas, English daisies, primroses, wild strawberries, and baskets of gold. You can find a big selection of early spring flowers at garden stores right now.